Are there some descriptions in the books that maybe suggest Snape has to be a white man?
Yes.
Sort of. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
And there's one main one.
Brother, J.K. Rowling drew him, right? She drew him with the biggest nose in the world, looking like a vampire. I'll put the picture up right now.
No prizes. Snape, obviously.
Oh, you end up signing for this. I hope he got a Jerry curl. I hope he got a finger. What? No. He got to have like a perm. He got to have a long ass perm like a pimp. Oh my God, man! Listen, man.
Why do I look like Professor Snape? Why I look like Professor Snape? Hold on, look. Ready your wands.
What is going on YouTube? DoubleO here. I'm here with my fiance Carla. And what are you, Carla?
A female.
No, an idiot sandwich.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Why am I an idiot sandwich?
No, you're a Harry Potter fan.
Little bit.
Little bit?
Little bit.
No, you're not a little bit Harry Potter fan. You're the biggest Harry Potter fan ever. Nah, you're a massive Harry Potter fan. How many times have you read the books?
A lot.
How many times do you listen to the audiobooks constantly?
Once a year.
Once? What? You listen to the audiobooks like once a month? What do you mean? These constantly?
No, I mean the whole series.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the whole series?
1 to 7.
Yeah, you always that shit is just white noise in the background every time.
Yeah, because every time you listen to it, you recognise something new.
True.
It's the book that keeps on giving.
Yeah, so we're talking about the casting for the new HBO TV show right now, and one casting in particular.
I don't want to do this video.
Why? Don't be a pussy boy.
Because we're just going to get so much hate for it.
No, we're not hating. I think
HBO's
HBO's getting hate right now.
I'm going to get called racist. You're going to get called an Uncle Tom. And people are going to say you're in the sunken place.
You see,
I'm going to get so much hate for this video.
You see what she's saying right now is what everybody else thinks, but they don't say, because all the people that are defending this shit is thinking exactly what she's thinking, right? But they're not. But they're just going to act like, I don't see what's wrong with this. I think this is going to be perfectly fine. Well, let's just see how it goes. They probably cast him because he's such a brilliant actor. But really, they're thinking what she's thinking. You know, they don't want to seem like they're racist. They don't want to seem like an Uncle Tom.
Quite clearly, I'm not racist, right?
No, you can't even say you got black friends or black boyfriend. You're still racist, apparently. But anyway,
you can be. That is true. You can be. You can be.
I think there's levels. There's levels to racism, right? Like there is to everything. Like it's not just a blank thing. But anyway, let's get into this. So when we first heard about that they're going to make a Harry Potter TV show, I was like, why?
You hated the idea.
Like, what are you doing? A lot of people didn't like it.
I was so excited.
Yeah. Well, why were you excited?
So excited. Because the films, as good as they are, they miss out so much from the books.
Yeah.
And I was just so excited to have, like, the books put on the screen. Because if you don't have time to read the books, you're missing out on so much of the story.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much that you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like, in the movie, they give Hermione a lot of Ron's words in the book.
Probably still going to do that now.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, when you read the book, you're like, oh, actually, Ron isn't a buffoon like they make him out to be in the movies.
Yeah, and you convinced me. You like got me on board the idea of a HBO TV show because it was like there's so much missing from the books, you know.
So I was like, all right. I can't even describe to you the sort of stuff that's missing.
Yeah,
like little details.
So they sold this on the idea that this was going to be an accurate adaptation of the books.
And I was so excited.
Yeah, and I was excited too because I've always loved when they bring something from one medium to life in another medium. That's why I love when manga comes to life in anime, because they make it literally panel for panel, word for word, visuals for visuals, bar for bar, exactly like the manga, more like 95% of the time. So now with this casting, what it tells me is, oh, you ain't doing it accurate to, you ain't doing it 100% to the books. You're just doing your own thing again. You're just doing your own version, because this is not Snape, you know. But let's look into it. Let's see what people are saying. And we're going to give our responses to some people that are arguing against this and some people that are for this.
So, yeah, you see Severus Snape casting for Harry Potter. It's the traditional race swap that's going to make everybody mad. It's going to be super divisive.
It's not the traditional race swap. If it was the traditional, it would be the Weasleys, right?
Yeah, someone talks about that, yeah.
If it was the traditional race swap, it would be the Weasleys.
Yeah, usually if there was a ginger.
Prior to hiring, he hasn't read the books. What?
So the idea of a incredibly rigorous text-to-screen adaptation is, I think, a probably safe bet to be a success. I think the pleasures that can be derived
Wait,
from that
he
are
hasn't
probably
even read
not
the
good.
books.
Yeah, one of the writers hasn't even. You're welcome to my world, right? This is what people.
What do you mean he hasn't read the books?
This is why I get so pissed
It's
off with this
supposed to
shit.
be a faithful adaptation of the books.
He hasn't even read the book.
Books?
He hasn't even read the books, and he's a writer on the series. Bro, this is minimum. Do the reading.
I'll do it.
The amount of shit we have to go to uni for. The amount of look, we have to go to uni just to learn so much shit to get into a job role or whatever. This guy can't even bother to read the books in his flipping job.
Me, because I didn't read all the books.
Well, the dumbasses did it. They actually race swapped Snape to be black. You know, a character that's vividly described.
Damn, what's with that nose? Holy shit.
That's how he's described in the books.
Being thin, having sallow skin, a long crooked nose, and
Hooked
black
nose.
greasy hair. When they heard black and greasy, they must have thought, oh, let's cast a nigga in this role. It's so insulting, not only to the character of Snape, but to the actor that's going to be betraying him as well.
That's what's sad, man. They basically set
Totally
this
agree
guy
with
up
that.
to be like their virtue signal target. Like, I feel bad for
This
him,
poor
right? It's just
guy's
like
gonna
Romeo
get
and
caught in the
Juliet. Yeah,
crossfires.
exactly. It sucks.
Because he is going to get so much shit because y'all gave him a lazy race swap just because
He
he's
took the
black.
role. He did.
Just lost all the goodwill that you had going into the show because you want a fucking virtue signal.
Yeah, he right.
I'm out of the show.
And the reason why I think is because, like, you know, if they're
Does
gonna try and
virtue
do
signaling
something like
mean?
this, they're gonna
Virtue signaling is when you want to appear progressive and because you want to please either yourself, your ego, or people around you. It's kind of like the whole, I voted for Obama twice, you know.
But they're not
virtue.
pleasing the people.
Yeah.
I am the people.
But no, their people is the people around them that like give each other pats on the backs of being as woke as possible and being an ally. But really, they're not. It's not to actually help. It's to make themselves feel good about themselves. It's kind of like when you film yourself giving a homeless person money.
Yeah.
You're not doing it because you want to help the homeless person. Yeah. You're doing it because you want to feel good about yourself.
And you want to show people.
And you want to show people, look how good I am.
Okay, yeah,
that's
right,
virtue signaling.
The moment I see something like this, I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be some bullshit.
Prepare for Ron to be turned black because, you know, he's the poorest one in the wizarding community and he's a ginger. Rearrange the letters and the word ginger and you'll see why they race swap.
I really want to edit that clip with Tom Mulvaney going like that and rearranging the words.
Oh my god, yeah, you're going to have to do that. You know that. You're going to have to do that.
It's just too perfect.
No, I didn't know about this. I never thought about that.
That's crazy. So
Okay, let's just dissect a little bit of that. This guy, he probably is an incredible actor. But they are just setting him up for failure. Mm-hmm. Because no matter how good he is, he's not going to change anyone's opinion of Snape, is he?
Mm-hmm.
No
Some people, it depends, because everybody has their own way of looking at things, you know? And he might change some minds. He might even intrigue me in some way. But it's just, that's not Snape, you know? There's so much, this is a visual medium, you know? Like, if he was voicing Snape in an animated show, but they draw Snape how he's meant to look, fine. I ain't got no problem with him playing Snape.
Nobody would give a shit.
Because if he can do the voice and he sounds like the part, who cares, you know?
Yeah.
But this is a visual medium. Like, it's not just how he acts and how he speaks. You got to look the part as well. That's why you're an actor. That's why they don't cast any old nobody as Superman or whatever. That's why they don't cast Terry Crews as Wonder Woman. Because he doesn't look the part, you know? Like, but now, I don't know, they might do that. Like, there's a reason why they spend so much money on costumes, why they make sure there's no iPhones or, you know, airwave chewing gums in the background of a medieval project. They do all of that to make it feel immersive and authentic, put you in the world, you know? There's a reason why Alan Rickman's wearing all black and he's not wearing his, like, I don't know, corduroy jacket when it comes onto set and his jeans, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you got to feel immersed into the world and feel like it's real and believable. And when you race swap because of real life, you know, political reasons and representation reasons in the most and that's not even how you do representation because it's the most laziest way possible. You're just breaking that immersion, you know, you're breaking that, oh, let me get into this story, you know?
For me, they prefaced it as a faithful adaptation of
Yeah,
books.
there's that as well, yeah.
So if you tell people that's what you're going to give them, that's what you should give them.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know how this guy can be Snape. He's too handsome to be Snape.
Yeah, he's not. Take out the race. He's not even the right looks. I mean, Alan Rickman was too handsome as well, but
yeah, but if Alan Rickman was too handsome, this guy's definitely way too handsome. Right?
Yeah.
And it's not a personal attack on that actor. I'm sure he's a fabulous actor. I'm sure he's got like many accolades. It's just about how can it be faithful?
Yeah.
If you change the character.
Yeah, right? like when you see someone walking the screen, you already have so many ideas about them.
How are they going to give him long, greasy black hair?
They're going to make him look like Cat Williams. Or they're going to give him dreads. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do.
But Snape didn't have dreads.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, when a character comes in, their look already tells you so much about them, and then it's up to the story to either contradict what you thought or to reaffirm what you thought. You know, because when you see a black person come in, you think, all right, what's his history? It could be a black British person, or he could be a black British that his parents immigrated, or, you know, there's so many
African American,
could be African American, Caribbean. You start thinking of all this history, backstory that, because you already know things that you've learned from your own life, you know? And then when a white guy comes in, you think, okay, he's British born, he's got a British family, maybe he's an aristocrat, or maybe he's got some bloodline from the royal family, or maybe he's just a homeless person, or whatever. There's so many things you get just from seeing a character. And that changes things already when you've race swap and just willy-nilly. You've changed the character's dynamic fundamentally already, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just so stupid when they do this. Even the most left-wing black people don't seem to be happy about this, you know? Usually they'll go out of their way to defend this shit, you know? I'm not going to watch this whole video. This is Altiori got these clips. Yeah, this is the ginger N-word thing. Unscrambled. She did it the most nicest way possible.
Almost like it's a big key inside joke with these studios, right? Because I'm wondering, like, why is it only ever red hair? Okay, it's not only, but most of the time it's red haired characters, and they don't put other ethnicities in there, just black people. What are you trying to say, Hollywood? Well, we already know Hollywood's racist as fuck. It's just really funny how they try to pretend that they're not.
Is this needed? Now, I'm not a Harry Potter stan at all. But I do have an opinion whereby I just think it's not needed.
Well, imagine if you did love Harry Potter.
It's not needed.
Yeah, can you imagine?
She's not even a fan, and
she's not even
a fan, and she can't understand it.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Like,
and what usually happens in these situations is people that defend shit like this aren't usually the fans. I've noticed that, like, people that be like, "Why do you care so much?" Just because they don't care, so they think you should not care either. But as soon as it's something they like, then suddenly they've invested in, like, a lot of time and passion in, they suddenly care, you know.
The character to stay white, and in this current climate, he's gonna receive a lot of abuse. I just don't think it's worth it. But
no, it's not.
My husband has a different view, as he always does. Go on, Latif.
Do you know what? Yeah, before I would always be on the stance of, nah, you know what? Keep everything the same. Like, you know me already. I'm a big James Bond fan, innit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we know.
So, in terms of when people saying make James Bond black, I didn't want that person in.
Yeah.
Because for me, there's no need.
Yeah, James Bond. He's white. Yeah,
it's like
fine.
So it's like now doing a Harry Potter. We all know and love Harry Potter as a white boy that wears glasses. That's what we know and love.
Yeah.
To change that is unnecessary.
Well, it's not Harry Potter himself, it's Snape.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just using that as an example. I'm just saying it doesn't need to happen.
And then they can play victim if people...
I wanted to hear, it sounded like he was going to say something contradictory there.
Because she said my husband disagrees.
Yeah, I wanted to hear the rest of that one. I don't know if we can find the original one of that.
So usually I am all for black people getting roles. But I'm going to really need to see Snape played by a greasy white man. Give the people what they want. And that is a greasy white man.
The natural replacement would be Adam.
Especially he's the right age as well.
But I don't think they were ever going to get him. In my opinion,
too big.
I think he's got other things. I don't think he
can
commit.
I
don't think he can commit for 10 years. Because he's the sort of person that does all different projects. I don't think he could commit to 10 years.
They'd have to give him a lot of money.
And I think they'd have to pay him a lot of money, probably a lot of the budget. So I don't think As much as we'd all love to see it, I don't think they were ever going to
I don't think they were going to get him. It would have been perfect, but it would have been amazing casting.
It would have been incredible.
And star casting.
It would really immerse you in the story, right?
Yeah.
Look at him in this. He's acting his ass off. Like, he clearly has the acting chops for this from what I've seen of him, but he simply does not fit the character. And that's a problem. One of the biggest things about Snape that made him creepy and unsettling and memorable was the way he looked. This guy does not give me that, unless they're going to put a hell of a lot of makeup on this guy.
That's what
look
I mean.
at him. I look at him and I'm like, he's so cute. He doesn't look
gorgeous.
like Snape typically,
Right?
but he also looks freaking adorable.
Jesus, oh God.
Look at him.
And if people are going to say...
Just go back a second. Look at him.
Snape. Bro, there's no way Lily was like, nah, fam. Lily would have been on that shit.
would have, trust me.
Now James actually, maybe this is good. James actually has a reason to be pissed now. He's like, oh, what the fuck?
Look at him, his skin all glistening and that. The beard is all like all nicely shaped.
Maybe that's why they cast him, because now they wanted to give James a reason to be pissed. Nah, man, that's so stupid.
Especially that picture. Come on.
TikTok and that, Twitter or whatnot, they all have the same opinion, more or less, you know? Like, most people don't like this. It's not a good idea.
Most people that aren't fans of Harry Potter don't like this. So imagine if you love Harry Potter. This is your childhood.
Ladies and gentlemen, looks like it's going to happen, all right? Looks like they're going to race swap Severus Snape in this upcoming HBO Harry Potter series. Right now, if you go actually read the article over on Deadline, it says Paapa Essiedu is near a deal to play Snape in the HBO series, which means it's pretty much happening.
Maybe if there's enough backlash.
I've seen this.
I don't know how Hollywood works. Like, I'm just
seeing what people are saying.
Maybe it's just my bubble. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't feel like it's a bubble for me. It feels like everyone's talking about this. So I just don't understand how Hollywood sees this stuff and they just ignore it.
I don't know how this guy sees it and can ignore it, right?
He probably just doesn't care.
If it was me and I saw all of this hate that I was getting, even though it's not personal to him, I'd be like, I can't do this.
Well, I
can't step into this role.
This has happened a few times with Star Wars, with lots of people that didn't like certain roles and things like that. And what usually happens is Hollywood will present it as a lot of toxic, racist, misogynist, if it's a woman, hate, you know? And the actor usually gets, like, they put a shield around them and they make it like some political thing, you know, like a massive, this is so not
like
right.
martyring him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
Hang on a minute. Let's just get this right. It's not about race. If they made Snape a woman, we'd still be saying exactly the same
100%,
thing, right?
100%.
So if they cast, I don't know, like a white woman, we'd still be saying the same thing. Like, Snape isn't a woman.
Mm-hmm. But people would just be saying you're sexist then, you know? They just switch it up. It's almost like they do this so they can hide behind the racist, sexist accusations all the time, you know? It's just like, what the fuck?
I feel really sorry for him.
Why are you race swapping people? Oh, because we're trying to virtue signal. You know, we want to show black people that they can see themselves, all right? You can see yourself in this wizard instead of actually, you know, using the black characters that are already there and maybe emphasizing some of those characters. Plenty of black characters in Harry Potter, all right?
They've done it. They've done it already in Last of Us. They had the two gay characters. Remember that? They had a whole episode about them, and they really expanded on what they were in the game. In the game, they were just like they were hinted that there has a relationship, and the character just helped Joel, and that's what happened in the game. In the TV show, they had a whole backstory about him. Their love. It was a really good episode. It was an emotional episode. Even people that hate this kind of stuff, like the Critical Drinker, was praising it. They've shown they can expand on smaller, lesser known characters that are more diverse. I don't know why they just don't do that with like Angelina Johnson and Lee Jordan and Dean Thomas. They can expand on those.
And if
Kinsey
you read the
Shacklebolt,
books, those characters appear multiple times throughout the books, and you learn about. It's
they
not
were
like a chapter,
in
it's not
the
like a
good
chapter
movies, weren't they?
dedicated to them.
Yeah.
But like throughout the 7 books, you'll hear little bits about each of them.
Yeah.
It builds around a picture.
like
of them.
apparently Lee Jordan was like really good friends with the twins. The Weasley twins.
Yeah.
He could be with them in most scenes if they want to. Like, and they could expand his character like that if they want.
It was really sad when they got kicked out of Hogwarts.
Yeah, like they could
really
expand on so much shit, but that's how to be. But these people aren't creative. They just want to do the easy thing and cast a big character as black and then completely break your immersion on what you know of the franchise.
Dean Thomas,
it's crazy.
Angelina Johnson, you got Kingsley Shacklebolt, and I guarantee you they're not going to race swap any of them cats.
No, of course they're not. And also, they have the writer on board. Like, if they want to, like, the thing is for J.K. Rowling, like, every single character she created in the book, they've got, like, a backstory. They've got a date of birth. They've got a date of death. They've got a job. They've got parents. They've got middle names. Like, for every single character she writes about, she writes a whole backstory for each. It's not just she's gone, oh, I need a character, Joseph blogs. He can be this character that I need right now. Like, every character's got a backstory.
They've got a backstory, so they can develop that.
She's written. So she's there on board. So if you want to know more about Angelina Johnson, just ask her, because she'll already have
and they can expand on it using actual backstory she's already written.
Written in a backstory. Because she's got that for every single character in the book. So it's not like they're like, oh, we might get this wrong if we start delving into Kingsley Shackelbott's history. No, you've got the writer right there.
There's no excuse, basically. Yeah.
His brothers, sisters, like,
there's no excuse.
Look at Snape on the front of the book.
I know.
Look at him. Damn.
Get as close to the original as humanly possible. And yes, that includes down to the skin color, because again, that's the character that J.K. Rowling designed. This is supposed to be a faithful adaptation of Harry Potter. But they're not going to do that at all right? They're going to do something completely different, and that's why all of this is utter bullshit. Kada came in. He actually did a whole video. We have another in the long line of lazy virtue signaling race swaps, with Snape now being black, further reinforcing that they only see legitimacy in white characters and think blacks should seal clap just because. This Harry Potter show just tanked itself. It absolutely did.
You see that whole thing of they only see legitimacy in white characters. What that means is that they're trying to say white characters are so important that black people can only be represented through previously white characters, and they don't see how bad saying that is.
Don't see how incredibly racist it is. That is incredibly racist.
It is. And then people that don't really think that deep about it just see a race swap and think they're winning when it's not winning. It's an insult. You know, we should be seeing original black characters that actually exist, be elevated into the same status as Snape. Standing side by side with Snape on the same level, not just Snape being there and then everybody just gets to be Snape. Like, why can't we have a character that's just like Snape, that's just as important as Snape, but he's black? You know, that's original. That's ours. That's actually ours. People don't seem to get it.
After the fall of Voldemort, spoilers, Kingsley Shackelbolt becomes Minister for Magic. I'm sure he's probably the first black wizard that's ever become Minister for Magic.
Maybe, yeah.
In the history of...
Well, I don't know. Probably will change that now because they've all changed the whole...
But I'm saying
the world is all diverse now.
In the story, he becomes he breaks a historical barrier in the story. Right? Why would they not want to show that?
I know.
Why would they not want to show that?
They'd love talking about the first black doing whatever, you know?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure he's like the first black minister for magic in the story, in the history of the story.
But they would have probably retconned that now because, you know, they've done the Fantastic Beasts movies where the Wizarding world is more diverse than the Muggle world, and I think that's what they're trying to say, but they probably flopped that as well once they delve into the Muggle world in the 1800s as well.
I hope they don't call these people like self-hating and stuff like that, because...
Of course they do.
But by doing this, now they're just disrespecting not only the character of Snape, but the audience. All right? Like the audience that would be absolutely rocking with something like this. It's like, oh man, they're going to do a faithful adaptation of Harry Potter? Hell yeah, I'm all in. I want to see everything that J.K. Rowling was going on in her mind. I want to see that. I want to see that story.
That was me.
Okay, you want the story that was going on in J.K. Rowling's mind as she was writing Harry Potter.
Exactly.
And all the ways she was visualizing everything. Here's your token representation, black people. Now go away. All right. Instead of actually building up characters like Angelina Johnson or Kingsley Shackelbolt. And they could totally do it. They can, you know, hey, let's beef these characters up. Let's make sure that we really do a good job with these other, black characers.
And they've got J.K. Rowling there, so she can tell you their backstory.
Right? They just want to be lazy about it, man. It's fucking ridiculous.
Black Greek soda.
Literally, what are they going to do to his hair?
Is he going to have like a Jerry curl?
They're gonna like Cat Williams.
At this point, he might.
I hope they get his dumbass Jerry curl. Paapa Essiedu, you an idiot for taking this role to begin with. And if they give you this role and you end up signing for this, I hope he got a Jerry curl. I hope he got a finger. What? No. He got to have like a perm. He got to have a long ass perm like a pimp. Oh my God, man! Listen, man, we're gonna have fun with this regardless. But I'm clowning the hell out of this shit. I am clowning
people already see it as a joke.
That's what I'm saying.
They've taken something that Like it
already looks like a joke. What are they going to do? They can't give him a fade. Snape's hair is iconic.
It's like the biggest part of him.
You can't give him a fade, like you can't give him hair like his, like or mine.
Next to his hook nose, his long greasy black hair.
Yeah,
like
we're giving dreads.
Maybe.
I think even dreadlocks, like not even like cane rows, just dreads, like straight.
But they're not going to make him look greasy, are they?
They're just going to give him a perm, aren't they? They're literally going to make him look like Cat Williams.
They're probably just going to make him wear a black wig.
They're going to make. That's what I'm saying. They're going to make him like Cat Williams.
That's going to look ridiculous.
Won't watch it.
It's almost like a joke.
It is being turned into a joke.
Even putting himself in this position. I would turn the role down. Every black actor should turn down race-swapped roles. Turn them down. I'm good. I got more pride in myself than that. But nah, I guess that check, that money, bro, that money speaks volumes.
But to the actor that's going to be betraying him as well, because he is going to get so much shit thrown his way because y'all gave him a lazy race swap just because he's black.
It's not about trying to get everyone to fit into the story. The art comes first, you know?
You're telling us the story.
Yeah, you're telling us a story. You can't, so sometimes in a story, you can't have every single kind of person in it. It just happens that way sometimes, especially if you want to keep talking about old stories.
If you want real, doesn't make you racist.
Doesn't make you racist. Like if you're going to tell a story about the Tudors in medieval England, yes, unfortunately, there's not going to be any black people there because there wasn't. You know, but you want to tell that story. That's the bed you lie in. You know,
pretending that there was is erasing a whole part of history.
Yeah, history exactly.
Their history.
Like either if you really want that kind of representation, then tell an African story, like at that point, it's just like you can't have your cake and eat it too, is what I'm trying to say. Like you have to compromise here and there. Like, and this isn't how you compromise, because this is just breaking immersion. It means the art is coming second. The art has to always come first. That's how I see it.
Well, especially if you're turning a book into a series.
Yeah, especially when you're advertising it as
and accurate. A massive book.
Yeah.
Like, it's been translated into over 200 languages. This isn't just a simple, silly book, is it?
Yeah, it's the biggest franchises on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars is literally gone below it now because they've ruined that in the same way that it looks like they're trying to do to this. I don't know. They've got their greasy hands on this now to fuck this up too. And this is the only one that's left because they haven't made anything new about it for ages. I mean, the Fantastic Beasts movies were hit and miss for a lot of people, but it didn't ruin what was the legendary story itself, the Harry Potter story itself, and they're trying to do that now, it seems. They should have just done Marauders.
Create an original character. Make him an old. Give him some extra lines, but it's supposed to be a faithful adaptation of Harry Potter, which I understand. But again, if you really are desperate to work with this cat, fine, make him Kingsley Shacklebolt.
Yeah, I think he'd have been fine as Kingsley.
But no, it's stupid, man. It's really dumb.
This backhanded way of representation going, here you go, little nigga, here, you could be represented in Harry Potter too. Let's just race swap a character, the laziest form of representation, and give it to you. Here, clap for us, niggas.
See, I agree with Kate on that, and I've said it before.
You speak like what they're really saying.
They want you to be happy with the crumbs off the table. And, instead of actually taking the time to build up an original character. And not only that, like, there's nothing black about Snape. Like, there's nothing in Snape's background, unless they rewrite his background. There's nothing that's in his background that has any authenticity to black people anywhere in black culture, because he wasn't designed as a black man. And so it's really not representation.
It's not ignorant in a way.
Because no black man is going to feel like, oh, this guy really looks, because he looks like me, he now all of a sudden is me. He represents the black community, or he represents black culture. No.
If he's playing Snape, he can't represent the black community. He can't represent black culture.
No.
He can't.
He's going to look like a guy that isn't comfortable in his own race with that perm.
It'll work. Nobody feels represented like this. Nobody sees themselves in this character because this character ain't going to look or act anything like a black man that you would normally see. It's just lazy. It's bullshit laziness. I'm sorry.
Just because J.K. Rowling might be against the Transformers in the bathrooms doesn't mean that she's not a raging leftist.
Yeah, nah, he's right about that, man. J.K. Rowling is all the way. Listen, she rocks 1,000% with this move. She is all about this. She probably loved it. She probably the one that suggested it.
Do you think J.K. Rowling suggested it?
I'm not sure.
I think they suggested it. They wanted to do this, and she just kind of like I just a funny skit. Like they went to like, yeah, we're gonna cast this dude as Snape. Is it cool? He's black. And then she's like, is he trans? And they're like, no, he's just black. Whatever, man. I ain't give a fuck. I got other shit going on.
Back on Twitter, man.
Yeah, I've got to go back on Twitter. That's probably more or less what
Oh Lord.
That's probably what happened there.
The thing is, they just if they hadn't have set it up by saying this is going to be a faithful adaptation, we'd all be like, oh, whatever. But the fact that they fed that to us, they gave that to us as fans and said you're going to get a faithful.
Yeah, if they said
20, got us so excited about.
This is like this is a modern remake of Harry Potter.
Yeah, then we'd all.
It's set in 2025. They're using iPhones and shit. Yeah. Okay, so this is a new take on Snape, you know, like. But you're trying to bring the books to life. So this is set in the 80s, 90s, whenever the books were set. Do that then. Do what it's supposed to be.
If you want to play fast and loose with some race swaps, you got characters you could race swap that people probably would be like, why? But whatever. But you got to keep the teachers white, all right? So Dumbledore, McGonagall, Snape, Hagrid, you got to keep them white, you know? You got to make Flitwick a little short dude, all right? You got to keep these characters certain things. Kids,
don't tell
Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Thingy that.
You know? And
Peter Dinklage.
if you gotta race swap somebody, I said lavender brown. That's my favorite race swap. Hey, make lavender brown brown. There you go, little Latina lavender brown. Everybody would have been like, yeah, whatever. It's stupid, but whatever.
You don't want lavender race swap.
Just make them on the just give us the facts.
He's trying to say that if you have to absolutely do it to a character that's not going to change.
Well, they can make Mrs. Norris a dog if they want.
Yeah.
Instead of a cat.
You know, if they made McGonagall transform into a dog, that would just break me. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like making McGonagall transform into a dog for some reason. I'm like, what?
You could have did all kinds
it doesn't
of
make
different
sense,
race swaps
and there's no reason for it, right?
It's like making Crookshanks a flipping a guinea pig instead of a flipping cat, you know?
And Snape is absolutely one of those characters. He is a vital character to this story.
They do Crookshanks dirty in the
it's sad, man, because look, there was an
opportunity.
Yeah, in the book, see, this is the things that I was excited about. The things that you're going to see. So in the book, Crookshanks like integral to the story. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like really dive deep, especially into the 4th and 5th books. There's all kinds of missing information out of those movies. It's like, okay, they didn't really need to do an adaptation.
You can tell these people have read their fans as well. You can tell by the way they're talking.
Do the Marauders, make it brand new.
That's what I was saying.
Have some fun. But no,
I would love to watch the Marauders series, and because there's not actually anything written, you have more freedom.
Interested with it now? Probably not.
No. That would be fucked too, probably.
People that haven't even like
Snape would have been black in that as well.
Yeah. How are you going to get someone to run your show that hasn't even read the books?
This is how these people work. I don't know how they operate it, but I don't know what they're doing.
Now they got Snape out here.
If someone tasked me to be a writer or a showrunner for something, I would be delving into that shit like no tomorrow, because I'm passionate about stuff like that anyway. So I'd want to know everything.
In the black dude, look, it's now James Potter. I said this in my post. James Potter is now officially a racist. All right, you got to understand the books to understand where I'm coming from.
Did James Potter and that try to hang Snape or something?
No, there was they tried to set a trap for him,
right,
so that he would die,
right.
And
Jesus,
at the last minute,
this
the
more than bullying.
Really, really dark, really, really dark. And then at the last minute, James had like a change of heart and was like, "We can't do this," and he saved Snape.
Right.
No,
everybody wanted
especially
Adam
now that
Driver.
John Lithgow is playing Dumbledore, an American playing English. Okay, so go and get Adam Driver. Let him play Snape.
Yeah, they've broken that rule already.
You're right,
so.
Lily. He was right there. All right. Look, everybody's pissed, man. They race swapped Snape. We called it. Yep. Kangmin Lee, Snape is not supposed to be black, as having sallow skin, meaning pale and sickly looking, often associated with a somewhat unhealthy complexion.
Yeah, and this guy's going to come in with his like gorgeous black skin glistening, and it's not going to be Snape.
Exactly.
Prominent features of his physical appearance, and they fucked it up. This shit it's already dead. It's DOA. People are not going to watch this. The outrage is going to be palpable, and they're not going to pay any attention to it. They're just going to keep on keeping on.
Imagine if the first series does so bad that they don't.
Yeah, I wonder how far it'll get.
Yeah, that they.
This guy will have to be like God coming down to act, because I don't know.
We still got the books. We got the original movies. We'll be all right. I don't just talk about it, man. I am a Harry Potter fan. This book is pretty damn ratty. All right. This book is pretty ratty. I've read this book, Goblet of Fire, probably about 35 times.
There was one more video, but I don't know, it's getting a bit long now.
Oh, go on, show me one more.
But this video is an opposite opinion, though.
Yeah, we need one of those to balance it out.
Yeah, so we want to like destroy this guy.
I want to tell them how wrong they are.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the opinion of someone that doesn't mind it, I guess.
He's got the books behind him.
I know.
Some pretty substantial.
But remember, he's white as well, and he's English, so he's probably like.
I'm white in English.
Yeah, but you didn't want to talk about this, did you? Or you would have. I feel like I've given you almost a way to feel like a little bit more open to talk about it. Whereas, say you didn't know me, you probably would have just really kept it to yourself and thought, or found a way to make it work for yourself, even though you really hated it deep down, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. If you were like, "Oh, what's wrong with it, Carla?" Would I be like?
Yeah, would you be like? You wouldn't. You probably wouldn't.
No, but then I don't think I would.
It's hard. I understand. It's hard for a lot of people to express themselves. I feel like he's a bit like that too. The way he talks, it almost sounds like he's making excuses when you hear him. But let's let him talk.
One of them seems to be quite controversial. With the slightly less controversial rumor,
it is.
We have this. And look, I'm sure Goldstein can switch up his dialect if he needs to. But then again, maybe they want to make Hagrid like a little bit Cockney, a little bit.
Hagrid isn't Cockney.
You should know what's whole thing.
No, I'm gonna have this giving me stressing me out.
Man, I'm trying to bring you to my world and why I get stressed about all this stuff. I'm so passionate.
A bit of a Del Boy type. After all, in the philosopher's
Can't make Hagrid Del Boy.
Just get to Snape because this is going to stress me out.
Is very good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So a big rumor is flying around that Paapa Essiedu is going to be cast as Severus Snape. Let's address the elephant in the room, shall we?
Just when I see the pictures together,
white,
I just
and I think that's
like,
fine.
I just
welcome to my world. It doesn't mean you're racist because you don't want this. It means you want something that's authentic. I don't know how he sees this and just.
I don't know how he sees.
A lot of people don't like that as well.
That guy could play ugly Severus Snape.
Unless it's a pantomime, there's no. It's just.
Let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? He's not white, and I think that's fine. Are there some descriptions in the books that maybe suggest Snape has to be a white man?
Yes.
Sort of. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
And there's one main one, right, that sort of describes Snape in a way that might suggest he's white. He's described as being a thin man with sallow skin, a large hooked nose, and yellow uneven.
Brother, J.K. Rowling drew him. Right? She drew him with the biggest nose in the world, looking like a vampire. I'll put the picture up right now.
No prizes. Snape, obviously.
Like, there's a video of her showing you the picture that she drew. There's no trying to deny what she wanted Snape to look like. Don't try and play them games.
And the thing is, with J.K. Rowling, if people were black in the book, she would say they were black.
Yeah.
So when she describes Kingsley Shacklebolt, she describes him as black and bald.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Angelina Johnson, she describes her as a black girl.
He's literally just trying to find the loopholes, man.
Dean Thomas, Lee Jordan, she says they're black. That's how she describes it.
This is the kind of shit I hate. Like,
so if Snape was black,
he's literally gaslighting.
She would have said Snape was black.
Yeah.
Because she did with every other black character.
This is the shit I hate. He's literally gaslighting.
But a sign of aging, and it's a change in like the hue of the skin. People with pale or pink skin tend to see like a yellow hue if they're experiencing sallow skin. But importantly, it says it's uncommon that it affects people with darker skin. Not impossible. Not it never happens, or it can't happen.
Shut up, man. He's getting on my nerves.
So this brother's saying this dude is going to somehow turn yellow in the way that Snape was intended to look.
Because black people don't even age the same as white people. They don't know. White people age badly. Right? He's just trying to defend it and bend the definition to his interpretation of the book, and you're just going to look like an idiot.
Yep.
Uncommon.
This is what I have to deal with, man.
Skin. Not impossible. Not it never happens, or it can't happen. Just uncommon. But even if sallow skin did only apply to white people. That still doesn't mean Snape has to be white. No part of his character, or his story, or his intricacies, his journey, none of that is rooted in whiteness. Snape being a person
it's not rooted
of color
in blackness either,
doesn't
is it?
detract from any part
If it's not rooted in whiteness, then why did you need to change him in the first place to make it rooted in blackness? It's because you're not rooting it in blackness either. Just for simple representation. But that's laziness then. You're breaking people's expectations and the law and the immersion just to have some kind of diversity when there's other ways you can do it. There's other options. It's not even like there's no options, you know? On top of that, he's wrong. because yes, every character, their race is a part of them. They're not even race because we're all one race, but like their ethnicity,
the colour of their skin.
The colour of their skin is a part of them because it tells you what they might have gone through. It tells you what their heritage might be. It tells you, I said this earlier in the video, it tells you a kind of backstory that you already have predetermined when you see them. And then after that, it's up to the story to give you like any contradictions or any other updates to what you might see of them, you know? So Snape looking like a gaunt gothic vampire, that gives you already, like a white gothic vampire, that gives you already a interpretation of him, you know? Of where he comes from, the fact that he joins Voldemort, that he's a half-blood prince, that all these kinds of things add on because of the whiteness of him as well, you know? Especially considering he's like part of Voldemort's, like, which could be seen as an allegory for Nazism or whatever, you know, fans can debate that, but like there's all of that as a part of it. It's just also, it's silly to ignore all that.
Also, Snape dies in the 90s as a 35-year-old man. So if he was black, his upbringing would have been in Britain in the 70s and 80s, right? So a black man in Britain growing up in the 70s and 80s would have a very different upbringing to a white man in the 70s and 80s.
Exactly, Mundo, yeah.
So saying, oh yeah, he can be black, well, there's a whole other history there that you're erasing.
Exactly.
Because the black men in the 70s and 80s didn't have the same upbringing.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying, you know?
And just saying black, there's... And like North Africans don't have the same experience as West Africans, you know? They're African, but it's not the same thing. Just using that blanket
Caribbeans,
term,
Africans, it's all
just using that blanket term of Snape can be black. Well, what kind of black? Is he Yoruba? Is he Egyptian? There's a whole other like culture there, right?
Yeah, because we know Snape is white English, yeah, and so we know that's his history coming up. We can already predetermine what happened with his backstory. Whereas you get this Jerry Curl / perm having black Snape coming in. Now you all got this whole thing. Kingsley Shacklebolt has African attire for a reason. We already predetermined what Kingsley Shacklebolt is about just because of his attire, you know? Now, if you want to race swap Kingsley Shacklebolt to white, you're gonna. This guy will be like, you can't make Kingsley Shacklebolt white because he has a whole. Why is his history important, but Snape's isn't? You know, like. And if you did race up Kingsley Shacklebolt to white, a white dude wearing African garms in Harry Potter, you just be like, what's going on?
What do you mean it does happen? There are white Africans. It does happen.
It can happen, but then there's a story there, you know.
You'd want to know how did he
put a story there,
yeah. How did he grow up in West Africa?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know that you'd want to know that story. You
It's the same way that you want to know Snape. Why is he called Gothic with a perm, and he's this black dude in 1980s, 1990s England, like
his story. Now, Paapa Essiedu is a very handsome man, and that might cause issues because Snape is absolutely not supposed to be handsome. He's slimy and greasy and gross. He's supposed to make your skin.
So why can you
but
accept
sure
that, but you can't accept that he's white?
Can sort that out
because he reckons his costume and makeup will make him ugly. I guess
creative liberties sometimes. Even if the books outright said Snape is a white man, who cares, right? In the films, Harry didn't have green eyes. Hermione didn't have buck teeth. Dumbledore became a whole other person halfway through. Snape, Lily, James,
that's because everyone died.
They
didn't really
took
have a
so
choice
many
there, did
creative
they?
liberties in the films. They made changes. Did those stop anyone from enjoying them?
Eyes is not the same thing as. In fact, the eyes was a problem.
Everybody talks about how in the flashback Lily had brown eyes.
Yeah, the eyes was a problem.
Everyone talks about that.
Like the films were still good, but it breaks the immersion when you do stuff like this, and you can't compare eyes to a whole ethnicity and skin. You know, eye color is not the same thing, and the fucked up thing is the eye color is important as well. They should have got that right too, because they make a massive point of Harry needing to have green eyes. You have your mother eyes. Yeah,
and we always
like,
do that.
It's
a phrase
that's another
multiple times.
That's another reason. Maybe it sounds weird to me, but that's another reason why I'm excited about this, because I thought, oh, maybe they can actually get a Harry with green eyes this time.
This is what you kept saying to me.
Yeah,
maybe they'll get an actor with green eyes.
Yeah,
maybe this.
Did I not say that?
Maybe this actor will be able to wear green contacts.
Yeah, well, they just have naturally green eyes.
Because that's the only reason he didn't. Is because Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, they were going to give him the green eyes. They were actually trying to give him the green eyes. It's not even like they weren't trying. And plus, you can't compare a political virtue signaling motivation to a technical motivation, you know? Like, they couldn't give Hermione the buck teeth because they were uncomfortable. They couldn't give Harry the green eyes because the contacts were uncomfortable. He couldn't wear them, right? But those are technical things that they couldn't make happen, but they wanted to make happen, right? This isn't a technical thing. This is a deliberate thing, you know, which is why it's more frustrating. It's more frustrating because you're trying to do some kind of thing to please people like me where it's not necessary. You don't have to do that, you know? That's the problem.
Characters. Absolutely not. And so if you'll let me get on my soapbox just for a second, I find it interesting when I read things about diversity online. Like the BBC, for example, recently announced they were extending their efforts to improve the diversity, right? And so many of the comments online about that were saying things like, don't hire somebody because of their skin colour, hire someone because they're the right person, the best person to hire. And then you see casting news like this, where a man of colour might be hired to play Severus Snape. And so many of the comments are, he's not white, he can't play Snape, stop forcing diversity. But how do you know he wasn't the best person who auditioned?
You wouldn't have Mark Wahlberg play Blade. Yeah. Black Panther.
It's for everything.
Nobody would go, oh, maybe on the day he was the best person for the job.
Exactly.
Maybe he did the best.
No one will say that.
Nobody will say that.
It's the weakest argument in the world. It's just, like, there's not one 35-year-old white guy that can have black greasy hair that can play Snape in the whole of England. Or America, for that matter. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. There's Adam Driver. I hate these. The best argument, if I wanted to steel man him, the best argument is we need to do this because I don't know if that's a good argument. Maybe black people need more options for roles, for big roles, or maybe representation's important because he's been represented through a big character. And that's the way to get representation out there more. That's the only argument that maybe has some kind of weight to it. But still, yeah, it's not good enough for me because I think art and passion and your story, your narrative is more important than everything else. Everything else you can try and work around or make compromises, like make Angelina Johnson or Kingsley Shacklebolt or Dean Thomas bigger characters. That's how I would try and do it. You know, because I do think representation is very important, but this isn't the way you go about it. Because it's just all it's causing is all it's causing is more division. More people are going to be more like you're giving them more of a reason to hate on things like this, on actual things that are genuine diversity, genuine representation. You're giving more of a reason to hate on it, and it's just causing more division than anything else. Doing it like this.
The way you do that is make black characters iconic.
Stop trying to make iconic characters black. Make black characters iconic. Yeah. That's how you do it. You know,
the way to do it isn't just to go, okay, you can all play a white person. That's not the way to.
It's the laziest, stupidest way ever. If you want
to represent people, give them iconic black characters.
Yeah, because it's not just the skin, it's the culture. You know, it's the history, it's everything. It's not just the skin.
Slimy idiosyncrasies. Just feels like there's a lot of mental gymnastics. You either want the best person in the job or you don't. And until we see the show and we have a reason to doubt their casting abilities, we need to put our faith in the casting people.
I'll agree with him on that.
People might have criticism.
I will agree with him on that. Until we see the show, we can't actually make a full comment on it because we haven't actually seen what it's like. But right now, looking in, it's hard to see how they're going to do it. So I will agree with him on that. You can't make a full
complete judgment. Yeah. I mean, we know they're not going to
shit.
We know they're not going to make his skin white. We know he's not going to wear white chick style makeup. And,
oh my god!
And honestly, like, hot take, but we should be living in a world where we can do that, where if someone's so good for the role that they can wear makeup to look like the character that's described in the books, including skin tone. But I know there's so many political, social reasons why we're not in that kind of world. That's what acting is, you know? You're playing a whole different person and they make you look like that person. But I know that when it comes to skin, there's a very big issue there. So you can't even do that. We're not in that universe where that can work. But yeah, man. Let's finish it
about
up.
the casting beyond him not being white, and those criticisms I would be willing to listen to. He seems very handsome, and Snape is not supposed to be handsome. He's meant to be an...
Why is that worth listening to, but not the race one? It just seems so funny to
Why
me.
does that matter? But the race doesn't matter.
It's just so strange to me how they work around this. It's like they say don't be colorblind.
They don't want to be seen as racist.
Right. So,
but there's other ways.
But then they say don't be colorblind. You know, but then they say, but now you're being colorblind. It's like, which one is it? Are we supposed to be colorblind or not colorblind? Which one is it?
Odd-looking outsider. Beyond that, I'm struggling to think of any other criticisms. My personal opinion, a big deal breaker for me on the Snape casting and all the Marauders was their age, right? They needed to be the right age to tell their stories appropriately, as they are in the books. And he's in his mid-30s. And I also think this point...
Why does his age matter?
Yeah, why does age matter? But
if his skin colour doesn't matter, why does his age matter?
Like, you just said the green eyes didn't matter, we enjoyed the films. The buck teeth didn't matter, we enjoyed the films. But now the age is a problem. The age was changed as well. But now he's saying it is a problem.
And the age was changed because the best person for the role.
Yeah, Alan Rickman. Literally his argument.
That's why the ages were changed.
Yeah.
Because they wanted Alan Rickman.
They wanted Alan Rickman, that's who she wanted. Yeah, so they changed the whole age of everybody that's involved with him, you know?
So you're just picking and choosing now.
He's picking and choosing.
Because
basically.
he doesn't want to seem racist.
Pretty much, yeah. You know, you have to be consistent with
And
this shit.
nobody wants to be seen as racist, do they?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
That's one of the reasons
but
why
you have to have integrity as well. Yeah.
I don't want to do this
But
video.
you have to have integrity as well. You have to be brave in what you want to say. Otherwise, people just walk all over you and then you just end up being... you just end up agreeing to shit you don't even actually believe in until it comes to the point where you can't take it anymore and it becomes worse than a conversation. It becomes violence or something, you know?
Yeah,
that's why this is so
If
important.
conversations about it, then it becomes
Into something way worse. And you're wondering, where's all this coming from? Because you never spoke up before.
Yeah.
You know, so this is why it's so important to have these conversations, why it's important to talk about this stuff, and why it's important to say what you truly feel. And the thing is, I said earlier that he's probably doing this because he doesn't want to seem racist, but at the same time, he might have gaslit himself subconsciously that this is how you're supposed to see it, because otherwise I'm racist. Not even in the sense of I hate this, but I'm going to seem cool. Like maybe he's actually consciously thinking this is right, but subconsciously knows it's wrong deep down, you know? So it's a difficult one for some people because they've been indoctrinated so hard to the point where they can't see anything wrong with this, you know, but they know deep down.
I'd love to be one of those people, but I love the books too much.
Yeah, that's what happens when you love something.
I'd love to
That's
be
what
one of
happened
those
to me.
people where I don't see a problem, but I love the books
That's what happened to me. Like I've been saying this for years, all this kinds of stuff, like how much I hate all this kind of stuff, because I love the source material so much. I love when things come to life.
So I was just reading that comment.
Yeah.
I actually like this a lot. For one, he's the right age, being 34. Movie Snape was way too old. And two, he's so different from Alan Rickman that there won't be as many comparisons. Nobody can live up to Rickman's smart. Wait, hang on. Doesn't that seem quite racist, that comment?
What's that going? They know that
nobody can't live up to Rickman, so let's just get a black man to do it.
Yeah, that's mad. I don't even thought of it that way.
Doesn't that seem incredibly racist?
Yeah, it's like a black, like
a white man's never going to be able to do this.
So just get a black man to do it instead and make it different. Like
that's incredible.
So that's the reason you're casting a black dude. No, you're casting a black dude because you want to make a point that he's black, right? You know, like maybe he was so great in the audition, but at the end of the day, there's another criteria there in the CV. He needs to look the part, you know, and he's not fulfilling that part. You know?
Solid. This is a very different casting to Alan Rickman, and people were always going to struggle not to compare.
What's that?
Trying to let's not try and.
Then don't say it's
let's not try and get another Alan.
Then don't say it's accurate adaptation to the books, because Snape, he embodies Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman embodies Snape.
Almost one person at this point, right?
Yeah. So, people will be happy with Adam Driver. People have already said someone that's around Adam Driver's age and looks. People wanted that. So people are okay with getting someone that's similar to Alan Rickman. There's nobody complaining about making comparisons.
Hard, because Alan Rickman that role was...
But that's with every character. That's with Dumbledore. That's with Harry. You don't want anyone to compare him, but you put this guy that's nothing like him at all.
And put him in the fire.
Because all that's going to do is just make him seem a lot worse. Because we already know what Snape's supposed to look like. So the idea of...
And the actual racist is just going to perpetuate that.
Yep.
For the people that actually genuinely...
You're giving them ammo.
You're giving them ammunition, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're putting the guy in the firing line and going, here you go.
Yeah, and they want that.
Let's help you become even more racist.
They want those. I think they need those. They need the enemies. They need the enemies for them to feed off of, so they can defend him and use it as an excuse for why. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's all fucked up.
The new Snape to Alan Rickman's Snape. So this feels like a great move to separate the TV show from the movie. He's also got plenty of experience.
Don't tell us it's a faithful
He
adaptation
then.
London,
the Lazarus Project. He even
tell us that you're being in the books
for the Royal Shakespeare Company. If all the rumours are true and he has been cast as Snape, I'm excited to see what he does.
That's what I wrote 2 months ago. How about instead of lazily race swapping Snape and Hermione, we use the extra time to flesh out the person of colour characters already in the books, similar to what HBO did with the gay characters in the last adaptation, Sincerely a Black Person. Because the only reason to do it is not because he's so good, you know.
But he might be. He might be so good, but that's not.
But it's not. It doesn't matter how good he is because he doesn't look like anybody can be good. Like you could get Terry Crews could be a great flipping out Wonder Woman. He could be great as Wonder Woman, but he's not Wonder Woman. He doesn't look like her, you know. There's a reason why they don't cast Danny DeVito as Superman, even though he might be able to act the role really well.
Honestly, I feel like he would be a good casting for Kingsley Shacklebolt. That person, right?
Yeah, that's what my thought too. This is the obvious thing. Appearance plays a significant role in shaping the character, and altering it affects how the story resonates and how they're perceived. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Like, it's visual for a reason. What do they say? A picture says 1,000 words, and a video probably says 1,000 more. You know, like you don't even have to speak, and you already. If Snape walks in the screen, he doesn't need to speak. You can already see so much about him, you know? Whether he's black or white. If he's black, you're going to say something to you. If he's white, he's going to say something. So it's just stupid to try and say, it doesn't mean anything. Anybody can play Snape. It's stupid. But anyway, this video's gone on way too long. Is there any last final thoughts you got?
Any final thoughts that I've got? If you haven't read the Harry Potter books, read them. Because they're really good. And if you don't have time to read them, then download the Stephen Fry audiobooks because they are incredible. And Stephen Fry does all the voices and he's incredible. And it's just a really lovely adaptation of the books.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts. And I listen to them at least once a year. I still have my copy of the Deathly Hallows upstairs. And if you open the page where Dobby died, there's tear stains on it.
Still got your tear stains on it?
On the page where Dobby died. Because I cried.
That's a fan right there. And see, this is what happens. This is what happens when you're passionate about something. You care about stuff like this. Normally, you don't give a crap about race swaps, do you? Because you're not like a big fan of whatever they've race swapped. Like in House of the Dragon, when they race swapped the Valerians, you weren't fussed because you're not like a massive fan of the source material. But now,
I just thought they should have done all of the Valerians.
You mean like the Valerian race?
Yeah.
All of them black, not just the Valerian family. Yeah. I just, I'm consistent with this shit. I thought it was stupid in that as well. Because it's not what the source material is, you know? And I know maybe it helped the storyline, but yeah. Anyway, let's not get into all that. That's another video. But yeah, anyway, that's our thoughts on this whole casting news. I went deep dive with it with a big Harry Potter fan next to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like this casting? Give us your good reasons why. Don't say, oh, he's probably the best person for that role. Don't give me them as lame argument. Give me a good argument of why this guy should be Snape, you know. Don't give me that Snape's race doesn't matter. Give me a real important reason why this diversity of representation is good as this guy to be Snape. Because that's the reason they did it. They want to be diverse. So why is this idea of representation and diversity good? This race swap of a major white character that everybody recognizes. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.